Hey guys, Mr. Lloyd here, going to work with you on this video here for April 28th. This is going to be page 2 of 4 here, and the top of the page says 7-13 class activity. On this page, we're converting units to liquid volume, and we're using the metric system at the top of the page, which is nice because the metric system is multiplied by 10. And so converting back and forth, in this case between milliliters and liters, is pretty simple, not a whole ton of calculation here. So the first job for us was to take one of these double number lines and to fill in the missing values. We've got liters on bottom, milliliters on top, and you can just follow the pattern and fill these values in, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So liters go up at a whole number at a time. Each interval is one whole number. And in milliliters, there are 1,000 milliliter per 1 liter. So that pattern should help you fill out the rest. So for 2 liters, there's 2,000 milliliters. For 3 liters, 3,000 milliliters. 4 liters, 4,000 milliliters, and so on. Okay. You're going to take that knowledge about milliliters and liters and create 2 unit rates. And the unit rates will be in these 2 forms. Green here, I wrote with milliliters on top. So the way we read this is there are 1,000 milliliters per liter. So that's how I read that out loud, 1,000 milliliters per liter. And here in my blue pen, I've written a new unit rate, excuse me. It is 1/1000th of a liter per milliliter. So I use that math vocabulary. That word "per" is the word I use to describe this fraction symbol here. 1/1000th of a liter per milliliters. It's important to understand these 2 unit rates are equivalent. They mean the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just which unit is on top and which unit is on bottom. And by switching those units, by flip-flopping them, our 1,000 becomes 1/1000, or 1/1000 becomes 1,000. Okay, so we've had pretty good experience with unit rates and working with these 2. So we're going to do left side and right side here on this problem. We're going to take this word problem, we're going to solve it 2 different ways. Okay, so let's read that word problem. It says a can holds 344 milliliters of seltzer. How many liters is this? Well, the way we solve it, proportion problem, you're going to use our cross multiplication here with our green ink. So I set it up as this, 1,000 over 1. This is 1,000 milliliters on top, liters on bottom. Here I've got the same setup on the other side of the equal sign, 344 milliliters on top, and then x liters on bottom. X's are unknown, so we use that variable. We cross multiply 1,000 times x equals 1,000x. 1 times 344, of course, is 344. I want x to be by itself, so I'm going to divide by 1,000. 344 divided by 1,000 is 0.344, and that's my final answer. 0.344 liters equals 344 milliliters. So that was the way we solved that with a proportion. We can also use the unit rate that we wrote up here. And here, the important thing about using the unit rate, the easy mistake to make is choosing the wrong unit rate. You might remember this from our puzzled penguin who was having trouble converting feet and inches, and he found, if you remember yesterday, he said he was 504 feet tall, and he said, wait a second, that can't be right. So he used the wrong unit rate, so let's not make that same mistake. So you have to be kind of careful. The rule of thumb here is, let's take a look at the problem. It says, how many liters is this? So when I'm trying to select a unit rate, I want to select the problem where the liters is on top. So liters per milliliter is how I'm going to read this. So I'm going to choose this unit rate here. And then I just multiply the unit rate by the measurement I'm given, and I cancel out my units and solve. So 344 milliliters times 1/1000th of a liter per milliliter. And milliliters cancel each other out, so I'm left with just the unit liters, which is good. That's my goal. Now I multiply 344 by 1/1000. I get 344 over 1,000, which is the same thing as 0.344. And I've kept my liter in the problem. That big capital L there stands for liters. And so that's the problem. So 2 different ways, we get the exact same answers, 2 different methods. So as you're solving these, as you proceed through your math skills and you get into your science coursework, you'll be moving You'll be converting units of measurement into different kinds of units quite frequently, so you really want to make sure you've got this skill down. And you'll find that these become pretty routine, these moving between liters and milliliters, centimeters and meters, and so on. And the nice thing is now you've got two strategies here to practice, and you can use whichever strategy you prefer. Okay. So solving using any methods here. Here the problem says a bottle contains 1.89 liters of water. How many milliliters is this? So I chose to use the unit rate strategy. If you're using a unit rate, you always want to be careful about selecting it. So once again, milliliters is my goal. So I selected the unit rate with milliliters on top. And as I set my multiplication up, my liters cancel one another out. And so I'm left with 1.89 times 1,000 milliliters, and that equals 1,890 milliliters. So I chose that method. You could have also written it as a proportion. You would get the exact same answer of 1,890 milliliters. Okay, problem 5. Problem 5 says a soap dispenser holds 220 milliliters of soap. A refill bottle contains 1.76 liters. How many times can the dispenser be refilled from the bottle? So what I immediately notice as I'm reading this is I have one measurement in milliliters and one measurement in liters. So my first step is to change one of these measurements to have the same. I chose to change the milliliters to liters. That was my choice. You, as a student, could choose to convert everything to milliliters if you'd prefer, but I chose liters. It doesn't matter which choice you make on this step 1, as long as you, because the step 2 is going to be the same, we're going to divide either way. So I chose step 1 to go to liters, so I convert 220 milliliters to 1 liter by using this unit rate of 1/1000th of a liter per milliliter. Once again, milliliters, the units cancel one another out, and I'm left with 220 times 1 over 1,000, which equals 220 over 1,000, which equals 0.22 liters. So my answer is 0.22 liters. That's what 220 milliliters is equivalent to. But I'm not done here. Now I have to think, okay, I have a 1.76 liters. I need to find out how many times 0.22 liters fits into 1.76 liters. The process to find that out is division. You guys know how to do all this. You just set up your division problem. 1.76 divided by 0.22. Always a good idea to remember that when we're dividing by decimals here, when our divisor is a decimal, we want to make sure that our divisor is a whole number. So 176 divided by 22. All I did here is multiply by 100. I have a limited space, so I had to kind of crunch my handwriting. So 176 divided by 22, it equals 8. So my final answer, and I can sort of close my brain on this part, the dispenser can be refilled 8 times. Okay? All right. And that's all we have on this page here. If you need additional help with these, please remember to ask through the Remind app. You can text, you can email, you can call me. You can talk to me during our Zoom meetings, but please let me know if you're having any trouble, if you need any extra help, any extra guidance. I'm here to help. Otherwise, that's all I have for you on this video. I will be posting the next couple of videos shortly. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.